everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Globecast. I'm your host, Sunlight, and today I'm delighted to welcome Shawn Fan, motion designer. So, hi, Shawn, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Sunlight?
I'm really good, thank you. So, Shawn, could you tell us a bit about your background?
Sure. I'm Shawn. Currently, I work as a digital designer at a London-based cross-culture digital agency called Tom, and I graduated from the University of Arts London in 2018, and I majored in graphic media design with a master's degree. And I also have a lot of the background of visual communication when I was in China, and my works often combines 3D techniques with 2D style, create and explore fun with between 3D, 2D, 2D and 3D, and just I love the lots of possibilities when I combine both of them, and also through the perspective of motion design to just play around with it. And my recent works tend to explore the relationships between human beings and the technologies uh, nowadays and in the future, as well as my works often like tend to observe and discuss the coexistence, contradiction, and also the balance of the two from the details, especially from my personal life. And apart from these, I recently just entered NFT art and started making NFTs. And also, I'm just kind of new to this area. Hopefully, I'll learn and grow throughout this whole journey. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good luck with the journey, but I feel like even right now you're very early in the NFT game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Right. So how did you discover the world of, NFT art and blockchain?
Actually, before I jump into the world of blockchain, I just could always find lots of people that I followed, share their ideas and works to the blockchain that just raised me interest to this technology. Even though I knew nothing about it during that time, and also my friend just introduced me an artist from the digital artist could people was sold at a quite a high price. I was wondering how could this art piece just in digital format could sell for just such high price, and what is NFT and how could NFT works and what's the connections between the NFT and blockchain. It just kind of opened the door of a new world for me during the time, and it's very interesting and exciting in the beginning. Yeah.
Absolutely, it's very exciting. So, you were saying how you did a master's in graphic media design at UAL. And of course, so the world of NFT art is so new and such an emerging industry, right? So, was there any mention of NFT art on your course? Did it include any modules?
Not really. We
Mm.
didn't include any courses during that time. When I was in 2018 and 19, still it was quite new, and I hadn't heard of some information news from about NFT. But we did have some courses that were really focusing on our thinking process, led us to explore the use of graphic design as a tool through just lots of like practice with researchers to probe the complexities of the contemporary culture. And every project and topic would let us to articulate where your ideas come from, and the whole practice process. Also during those courses, we were not just focusing on the aesthetic aspect, we also were focusing on like feminism, linguistic, and national identity, etc., etc. So in general, it just made my mind more open and inclusive, and also it really helped me a lot in my later creative process and my NFT art and moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. So, where do you get your inspiration for your pieces from?
I think there's a lot of works. First of all, they're connected to my personal experience and personal life. For example, just back into the 2000, beginning of the 2021, when the pandemic just started, I was stuck at home. I feel like my life is a little bit dark, and there's kind of no hope because I also was in furlough. So during this kind of mm, general environment, this kind of dilemma and conflict, it just myself also have lots of struggling and entanglement. And during that time, I just created my first motion graphic series, untitled series, and little wishes posters to interpret my personal dilemma and hope. For example, there's one called dice. I came up with the idea of feeling myself just like dice, rounded dice just bouncing infinitely and full of possibilities, and just rest of dice are like just normal dice and have a specific number when they were thrown. I want to use the contraction to express you never know what's happening in your life next, and it is actually could be a sad story, or could be a positive attitude to face the things in your life seems to be decided. Moreover, I think there's lots of like short films which gives me a lot of inspirations, because those films, like sci-fi films, always connect to the things that is happening now. They're exploring lots of social issues, and this kind of art and the humanity factors makes their work more meaningful. For example, there's one called the Caterpillar Plus Tree, directed by David Follow Crowley, and the film explores how far people will go to achieve symmetrical features and their glowing skin, and also appreciation from their peers. I was wondering how do these kind of technologies affect people aesthetics, and how to shape human cognition, something like that, and whether these aesthetic standards are subconsciously influenced by the technology, but people just don't know, don't have the self-awareness. This kind of inspiration just uh, affect my work a lot. Like for example, uh, the how Instagram affect our self-cognition. This is uh, also reflected on my latest work.
Perfect. Yeah, it's really nice to see the process behind the art, because so much more goes into it than just the aesthetic aspect, isn't it? Yep. So I would like to ask now, how does your process differ when making, traditional motion graphic art compared to NFT art?
For my motion art to the client, my core is definitely to meet clients' needs in line with their aesthetic, and to keep consistent with client brand. And at first, I will definitely communicate with my client to understand what kinds of content they want to express by motion graphic art, and what's the goal they want to achieve through the motion graphic video. And then I just deliver to the, and then to deliver to their target audiences. And for NFT art, I think there's irreplaceability and uniqueness there. For me, it's the kind of space where I can freely express myself and to create art for myself. And also in this space, I always express my emotions and views on some things in addition to the personal expression, I also think about another functionalities in my NVDR. There's so many limitations when making motion graphic art for clients, actually, but I don't have any concern when I'm making those NVDR. Yeah. And also, I really like to think about NFTR as a virtual digital product, and just using 3D to create an immersive space that lots of audiences just has the bad access to my meta universe world.
Amazing. So you're saying how for your, your client work, your target market is whoever they tell you to target, right? So who would you say your target market is for the NFT art?
Definitely, my work should be targeted to some Gen Z audiences. They like something really fun and interesting, but there's still some concept behind it. Just like my latest work could reflect that.
So where do you sell your NFT art, and why did you choose this blockchain over others?
The platform I sell my NFTs is on Foundation, and also I choose the Ethereum because it's just the main blockchain that I knew from the internet when I just do the research of what's the platform I should join in, and what is better for me to sell my NFTs. And on their platforms, people can just easily own and receive and sell, and also to create art. Apart from these, also it's just lots of artists I followed also using this platform. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. So, what is the difference financially to selling an NFT art piece compared to a traditional digital art piece?
I think what NFTs really focus on is creating and keeping value and trading rights instead of solving the intellectual property problem directly. It gives the digital art the awareness. Awareness is really important. It's just awareness to make sure it's awareness. Just make sure digital art has a collective value in the whole selling process, and also the NFT standards enable digital NFT to become unique, which is basically what makes every piece becoming more valuable. Comparing to selling traditional art piece, selling NFT can also bring the creator income every time the piece resells. So, which is not happening to traditional digital art, and also that just I think maximize the trading value permanently for creators' talents as well as their products.
That's lovely. Thank you so much for answering. So, Shawn, what is your financial target this year regarding your NFT sales?
To be honest with you, I didn't set particular numbers because the price of Ethereum just changed every day, and it might drop equivalent $5 a day, and the price of my art could just fluctuate constantly. So for myself, I just set a percentage goal, which is like for example, 90% of my upcoming works will be sold, and the price of my work will increase about 50% compared to the previous NFTs that I listed. And also the pricing is based on my evaluation of production time, difficulties of my pieces, and also the form of expression and the concept behind it. Yep, and I'm really excited and looking forward to achieving this goal.
That is an exciting aspect of selling NFTs, of course. So, with the pricing, there's so much that goes into the pricing of the NFTs. And so you said the price also fluctuates so it's very volatile. So does the price change every day of your NFTs, or?
Yeah, definitely. Even
Oh,
though
wow.
in the months probably they
Yeah.
won't just change really that massive, but it still change a little bit. Yeah.
So, in your experience, how does the community of traditional art and graphic design differ from the NFT community?
Uh, First of all, I'm not the expert in the traditional art, but compared to the graphic design community, I think NFT community has a really great culture, very positive, and the NFT community just have a really stable mutual connections. Like also they have nice platform like Twitter or Discord. Lots of members or users just share the lots of uh, their news, their findings, ideas every day, and in their small community. And also in the NFT community, I think DAO has played a really important role. And there's team members they can decide things together and even invest, own or publish the NFT arts. And every members in their community just contribute their creativity and decide what's the project gonna be in the future. It's really nice, I think. And as for the graphic design community, there's no typical centralized platform. We use Instagram or Twitter to attract people. Even if right now we started to use TikTok, and also we use Behance to promote our works. At the same time, our audiences and experts are really dispersive, actually. Yeah.
So, where do you see the world of NFT art 5 or 10 years from now?
Mm, from my point of view, everyone would have their NFT art in the future in their virtual gallery. And for now, it's quite a kind of new for the public. They don't even have the conscious to buy and collect NFT art. Majority of them are just still in the process of learning what is NFT and absorbing new informations from this area. And in the, I think in the foreseeable future, NFT art definitely won't be unknown for the public. They will have more and more younger collector. They're just born with the idea of a metaverse, and FDR will just have more and more functionalities, uh, fluidities, and usage scenarios. And now it's uh, and now it's a little bit early to talk about the applications of some NFTs in metaverse. I think it's apart from these, more and more functions, such as identifications, will also have to be developed more in the future.
Right. So I know you said it's a bit too early to see what applications there are of NFTs, but what do you personally think the role of NFTs could play in society?
When people talking about NFTR, probably lots of them just connect NFTs with some art and finance that seems like really far away from their daily life. But I do find there's lots of values, and in the future, NFT just have many roles to the society, such as like NFT has lots of advantages in buying and selling pieces of artworks, and it can just ensure the circulation and the copyright ownership of physical works of art in transactions, and it will also become a mainstream trend in the digital collection. Although I think through the docking of NFT with rare physical assets or even virtual assets, this can just ensure the authenticities of some really rare stuff. And also, these kind of rareness will become more really important, and NFT can protect the rareness and values in the digital era a lot, because there's lots of replication, and so they can just gradually promote the process of the whole society, I think. And also in terms of the working aspect, I think the NFT will promote the change of the whole working environment more. I think it is actually happening right now to make people's working styles, ways more diversified. In terms of role in metaverse, NFT can also help people better access to the parallel world of metaverse and realize many things that can not be done in the real world. And I think also part of this, there's a huge trend of combination of real world and virtual world. Yeah. And in addition, I also found the NFT has also playing a really important role in the charity, which could be really beneficial to the society in the future. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, in terms of charity, is it more like NFT fundraising, for example?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your views on the NFT role in society. So, are there any exciting projects right now that you're working on that you can tell us about?
Sure. I think my latest one is Holographic Fantastic Lover, which is the newest NFT project I'm working on right now. And I've just working on this so hard. And these like 4 pieces in total as a series for now. And they're about how future holographic intelligent technology at home could affect people's behaviors and also their life. In the future, the smart home can help people to monitor their eating and health and sleeping status. And through this kind of hologram technology, also combined with algorithm to create the home that belongs to everyone. And like this kind of hologram can also just project what people really want to be. For example, each of my work have their character, also have their future home. My inspiration is this inspiration is just from my people, from my friends, and also their lives. Like for example, the first one is called it's actually a fatty woman, and they have a little bit fatty figure, and the hologram can project a perfect woman she always wants to be, and also just project a home with many flowing low calories foods, and she can just eat anything they want and without any concerns. And the second one is actually a normal gay, sorry. He just lives in a bit of projective, dreamy home with also perfection body. And the third one is an unlucky guy. He just encountered something really terrible thing, but this home gives him what he really wants in the real life. Trying to love himself, so he can just forget about bad things that happened to him. And the fourth is the children's born in the future. Basically, they are just born with the idea of holographic home. They don't even know how they who they are and what they want. And this home just may control and seduce and spoil them by the interaction between smart home and the children. And also my method for creating these pieces is basically 2D illustration dropped first, and then 3D production will be around totally 50 seconds in video format. My method for creating these pieces is basically 2D illustration draft first, and then a 3D production. And also there will be around 50 seconds each one in video format.
Perfect. We can't wait to see them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And follow the links down below for Shawn's social media. And don't forget to follow the Globe community. Thanks for watching, and see you later, Shawn. Bye.
Bye, see you later.